Hey, how are you? Michael Stansbury.
Mike Stars.
Hey, Dylann, I'm Michael Stansbury. How you doing?
Good. Hey, you done with this? Yeah, I'll get it out of your way if you want.
Dylann, I'm Craig. How you doing? Got an extra water there for you. Nice and cold.
Hey, you want to take those cuffs off right now?
Shut this for privacy or?
Yeah. That's from high school, went to be a war control agent.
No.
Yeah, I grew up out in West Texas. All right, Dylann. My name's Michael Stansbury. I'm with the FBI. This is Craig Janikowski. He's also with the FBI. All right. Sorry, dude, just to show you that we are who we say we are. All right. All right. We want to talk to you about some stuff. I'm sure you probably already know that we want to talk to you. You know, we're hoping you want to talk to us and tell us your story and, you know, what happened, everything, your side of the events. I mean, I know a lot of stuff's been going on, a lot of stuff's said and out there and everything.
Well, I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I mean, about what's been said.
Right, but we want to talk to you about what happened. Like, here's the thing, right? Before we can talk to you, we have to go through and give you your rights, all right? And so what we're going to do, Craig's going to read them to you. I'll basically explain them to you and go through each one, but you know, we'll go again. But you do have the right to remain silent, all right? Now, if you can always decide anytime to exercise these rights, you know, at any time you want. You can say, oh, you know what? I don't really want to talk no more. That's fine. You have the right to have an attorney present with you prior to and during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, we will be appointed to represent you prior to and during any questioning. But we're going to go through this form right here, and basically it's a form that they have up in North Carolina. And this says, hey, that we can talk to you and you can talk to us. And then we can just go through here, figure out what happened, where we're at, and all that, okay?
All right, the police officer was a federal agent, okay, whose name appears below, told me that he is with the FBI, so I'm Agent Stansbury and myself, we explained to you, okay? And want to question you about the following offenses, all right, which you're, so before you're asking any questions about what we want to speak to you about, we want to make sure it's clear that you have the following rights, okay? You don't have to answer any questions or say anything. Do you understand that? Can you place your initials right next to that saying you understand that?
Just two initials?
Yeah, your first initial and your last. There you go. All right? Anything that you say can be used as evidence against you in a criminal case. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you put your initials there, please? All right. You have the right to speak to an attorney before or after questioning, or have an attorney present with you during questioning. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, one can be appointed for you. One would be obtained for you. Do you understand that? If you're willing to discuss the offense under investigation or without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop questioning at any time or speak to an attorney before answering any other questions. Do you understand that? Put your initials there. All right. What I'd like you to do, can you read this for me? I want to make sure you understand that.
You want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read that out loud, this little paragraph right there.
Okay. I have read the statement of my rights and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me by anyone.
Okay. Having all these rights in mind, you wish to speak to us?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Can you just sign your name right there, please? Very good.
So Dylann, you're from South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
You lived there your whole life? Where'd you go to school?
Yes. In Lexington, South Carolina. White Knoll High School, but then I went to Dreer High School in Columbia. But then I dropped out of it. And went to online school, and then I dropped out of online school. And then I just got a GED, that's it.
So you got your GED?
Yeah, but that's it.
Okay. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I don't have a job right now, but the only job I've ever had was just doing landscaping, like lawn maintenance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it was.
Okay. And where in Columbia did you live? Did you live with your mom or your dad, or?
Yes. In Eastover.
Eastover?
It's sort of.
I know where Eastover is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out Garner Ferry Road.
Right.
Okay. Was that where was that your mom or your?
Well, that's my mom's boyfriend's house, but I lived there.
Okay.
But lately, I've been living, at my dad's house too a little bit. So.
Okay. Where's he live?
He lives right in Columbia, right downtown.
Okay.
Right near Park Street.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Well, can you tell us about what happened last night?
Well, yeah, I went to that church in Charleston, and, I did it.
You did what? Well, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying it.
But I know sometimes we have to face those things, the realities.
We don't want to put any words in your mouth. That's why.
Right.
That's why Agent Stansbury just was asking you what it exactly is that you did do.
Well, I did. I killed him. Well, I guess. I don't really know.
Well,
I don't know how many people or anything like that.
So did you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
Okay. Was that your gun or?
Yes, I bought it from the gun store.
Which gun store did you buy that from?
Shooter's Choice.
Shoot in West Columbia, Shooter's Choice.
Well, it's in Columbia. I'm not sure what.
West.
Yeah.
They got the indoor gun range there.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I've never used it. But yes, they have one. I think.
Okay, so it's a
How long ago did you purchase that the weapon?
It's July.
Yeah.
July.
No, it's June. We're in
June
June
right
right
now.
now.
It's June.
Oh, it's June. Okay. Probably like 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So you just turned 21, right?
Right.
So it was like it was for your birthday or?
No, I bought it when I turned 21.
Yeah. So all right. So going back to the church, you pulled out the gun and you shot him, started shooting people, or how? How?
Yeah, that's it.
So do you know how many people you shot?
If I was gonna guess, five, maybe. I'm really not sure exactly.
Well,
4, 5. I'm not sure.
did you say anything to him before or after or during?
No, I didn't say anything to them before anything.
Before? What about after?
Well, I think during I said don't talk to me or something like that,
Like while you were shooting?
Well, in the middle, But I didn't really talk to him.
Okay.
How long were you at the church before you actually before you pulled your weapon out? You said yourself you shot, you think, maybe 5 or so people. How long were you at the church before you decided that you were going to do that?
Well, I just went in the church, and then I sat down with them for maybe 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Could have been 20. It could have been 10, but I think it was probably around 15.
Were they having a meeting or something? Or?
No. This was a Bible study class.
So you knew the Bible study class was going to happen?
Yes, because I had went there before and I asked them.
Okay, so you've been to the church before?
Well, not in it.
But outside and said, when do you have Bible study? Or?
Well, yeah, I just saw somebody get into their car and I asked them.
When was that?
Oh, that was like, oh God. That was probably, I don't have.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Well,
That's a while back.
right before, or when you pulled out your gun and started to shoot, or right before, did you remember what you said, or if you said anything to the people when you pulled? Because I mean,
Oh no, I didn't.
if you
say
suddenly
it.
pulled out a gun and I'm like,
Right, that's what I did. I didn't say anything to them before I pulled it out.
did they?
Not even one word. I didn't say anything to them.
Did they see or anybody react to you as you pulled the gun out, or were you already shooting before they knew what was happening?
I mean, they reacted after I shot.
Yeah,
Right, we understand.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess my question, and it might have been a bad question. I was just trying to figure out, if I suddenly found out a gun off, if I pulled a gun out and everybody saw it, people might start to run or whatever.
Oh, no. It was very fast. It was not like I was like, it was like quick motion.
So can you show what were you sitting down and you did it, or did you stand up, or what?
Yeah, I was sitting down the first.
Can you show me like what you did? I mean,
Yeah, it was just like,
did you like this, or just
yeah, like,
and just started shooting it
yeah.
at people? And we'll go back and I'll ask you some more questions.
See, I had it in a bag.
It was in the bag.
The bag's there. I dropped it.
You dropped
it.
the
It was
bag?
a black. Look, it was like a thing you can buy at a sporting goods thing, for military people to hook on their whatever, their vest or whatever. But I just put it in my belt, and I had all my magazines and the gun in there. When I walked in the church, this thing was right on me, in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna see it, And obviously they did, because I mean, this thing is big, it's heavy,
Mm-hmm.
Because it's got 7 magazines, and I put 11 bullets in each magazine. They can hold 13, but I didn't want it to jam or anything like that. So, but anyway, it's still really heavy. Anyway, they saw it, but I just sat down because I guess they just didn't say anything. And then I was sitting there and I was like, just thinking about whether I should do it or not. And that's why I was sitting there for 15 minutes, just like, because I know I could have just walked out, because they didn't say anything to me about what, the thing on my belt. So I could have walked out, and that's what I was just thinking, But then I just, I don't know, it's like, not, I want to say spur of the moment, but I just finally decided I had to do it. And that's pretty much it.
Well, that goes to the next question. Why did you have to do it?
Oh, I had to do it.
How come? I mean, that's what I don't know. I mean,
Well, I had to do it because somebody had to do something. Because, black people are killing white people every day on the streets. And they rape white women, 100 white women a day. That's an FBI statistic from 2005. That's 10 years ago. It might even be more now, who knows. It sounds unrealistic, but you break it down, that's 2 a state. It's really not unrealistic at all. It could not be more. The fact of the matter is, what I did is so minuscule to what they're doing to white people every day, all the time. And just because that doesn't get on the news doesn't mean it's not happening. Everybody knows that the news is biased for black people. We can pretend it's not, but we know it is.
Dylan, when you said you had to do this, so basically what you're...
I had to do it because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is brave enough to do anything about it. Back in the late 80s and the early 90s, we had skinheads and stuff like that. There's no skinheads left. There's no KKK. KKK never did anything anyway.
So basically, you were trying to make a statement or prove a point on behalf of the white race. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in a way, I guess.
Did somebody help? Did you talk to people or anybody in particular about this prior to making this decision to do this?
No.
So you came about this decision solely by yourself.
Right.
And did you? What's the reason why you? Because you said you'd never been in that church before.
Right.
But you said as you were driving by once, and correct me if I'm wrong, you saw somebody getting into the car, so you asked.
I was walking.
Okay, you were walking, and you saw somebody getting into a car, so you asked about a Bible study. Is that correct?
No, I just asked them. I said, "When is the church service?" And then she told me the church service and the Bible study or something like that. The times or something. I guess.
Was that an African American woman or a white?
Yes. Well, this is an African Methodist. Episcopal, is that what AME stands for? I think that's what it stands for. I'm not really
So
sure.
that's why you went
Is that
to
why you chose
church.
that church?
Oh, yes.
Because you were looking for African Americans.
Right. I wasn't going to go to another church, because there could have been white people there.
So you didn't want to kill any white people, or shoot any
Oh,
white
no.
people. You just wanted to
No.
black people.
Right.
What was the reason why? Because if you lived with your dad's for a while and you stayed at your mom's for a while. What was the reason why you chose Charleston as your location? Why that particular area there?
Well, the reason I chose Charleston is because, I like Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice down there. And, it's a historic city, at one time, I think it had the highest ratio of black people to white people in the whole country. When we had slavery, but and then the other reason is just because that AME church was historic too. It was an historic AME church. I guess that's pretty much the reason.
Well, how did you find out about that AME church in Charleston? Did you research it?
Yeah,
on
I
the
just
internet?
looked up black churches.
On the internet?
Yeah.
Where'd you do that at?
There's a website called SCI Way, like SCIway.net. And it's got a bunch of stuff about South Carolina.
Okay. So you went on the internet to find black churches, and you knew South Charleston had a high black population. And it was
Well, I could have done it in Columbia too. There's black churches in Columbia. It's just, I don't know. I just wanted to go to Charleston, I guess. I don't really know.
But that church, the fact that church was a historical church, had been around a long time.
Right.
That was gonna. I guess what I'm asking is, were you trying to make sure you were sending a message out? You wanted to send a message.
Right.
You wanted people to know, hey,
Yeah.
I got to stop this, or what? Right? That was your message.
Right. And that one's right by downtown, right by King Street.
Uh-huh.
So.
When you first walked in and they were having a Bible study, did anybody even acknowledge you or say anything or say,
Yeah, they did. They gave me a sheet.
So they welcomed you. These people did.
Right, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't say anything to them. They just handed me the sheet, pretty much. There wasn't that many people there. There was only like 8 people there.
So when you walked in, there were 8 people. Was it in the main sanctuary? Was it in what do you recall when you walked in? There were 8 people. Where were they all positioned? Were they
just around like tables?
Around tables?
Yeah, it wasn't in the sanctuary.
Okay. So it was around tables. And
Yeah.
where did you position yourself? Were you in front of them? In the midst of them? Were you in back of them? To the side of them? Do you recall?
Well, there was like a table here and a table here, and I was sitting over here. Most of the other people were over here.
Can you draw that out for me? Would you mind doing that? Just
I can if you want.
yeah, just so I have a better understanding. Just like when you walked in, just show me like where the tables were and.
The door's right here.
Okay.
And there's that table here, and then like another little table here.
If you can do like little circles to indicate where the people were, to the best of your recollection.
Okay, well, there's like I said, most of the people were like over here,
Uh-huh.
or maybe like this, and then but I was at this table.
So put an X where you were. Was there anybody else at that table with you?
No,
Okay.
but this is Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, I don't know. That's probably not 1, 2, 6. I don't know.
Sure.
That's probably not the right number, but I'm just trying to give you an idea.
Right.
But this is the door.
So you walked in, and you
Right,
said
and I was walked over here, and they gave me a sheet.
little sheet, and you said you put your bag down on the ground. Is that what you said?
Oh no!
Or you had the bag on you?
Yeah, the bag was on me.
Okay,
I dropped the bag afterwards, like as I was leaving.
I got you.
So you had the bag on you. It's about when you finally thought, no, I've got to do this. I've got to, you came here to do it, and you told yourself you had a thought. You had a thought about leaving, right?
Yes, I did.
But then you said, no, I'm here. I got to do it.
Right.
And so you pulled your gun out of the bag. How many magazines did you have in your bag?
8.
Yeah, 8.
But one was in the gun.
Yes,
7 in the bag.
7 in the bag. Okay. So how many times did you reload?
All the times.
So you went through all 8 magazines?
Yes. No. Actually, no. I went through 7 magazines, and I took 1 magazine with me, which is still in the gun.
And where's the gun at now?
Well, it was in my car when they arrested me.
When they arrested, so the gun.
And I told them about it.
And it's got one loaded magazine. So you shot through. You had essentially, I said you put like 10 or 11 bullets in each magazine. So,
Right.
so the gun wouldn't malfunction with misfeed or whatever, right?
Right.
And so you reloaded, you shot and reloaded 7 times, or am I right? One of the magazine, reloaded, yeah, because the last one you took with you. You shot.
Right.
One that was in there, shot it. Went through 6 more magazines shooting, and then
Right.
reloaded. Did you? So, but by that time, I mean, people that were already down, did you walk up and shoot them that had already, went to the
Well,
fellas
see,
down?
it was sort of complicated because they were all like under the tables. You see what I'm saying? It's not like I was like going around shooting people that were already dead or anything like that. It's just when I shot a magazine, it's like I just went pop, 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 pop. You see what I'm saying? Like at one person. You see what I'm saying?
So when you started shooting, I guess you say you were so quick shooting, like maybe they didn't even see where it was coming from at
Right.
first.
Well,
They
the
all-
first shots.
and they all dove under the table.
Right. Everybody knew it.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
And then you went around the tables just shooting them.
No, not exactly. Because there's some people that I didn't shoot. I think there was 2 people that I didn't even shoot at all. Like one woman was over here, and I didn't even shoot her at all, because she was like looking at me and stuff. I
Well,
didn't shoot.
So you didn't shoot that one woman because she was looking at you. But actually, it's hard to shoot somebody when they're looking at you, right? I mean, it is.
It's hard to shoot somebody anyway.
Right. But the other people, so were they shooting them in the back or just wherever they were, however they were?
Right, just however they were laying, I guess.
Like multiple times. So the first magazine, if I'm reading right, you pull out, you just start shooting. You go through that very quick. Everybody dives into the table.
Right.
You then reload the magazine. Do you just get up and start going around? There's people under the table just shooting.
Yeah, but I was sort of pacing around, because I was like freaking out a little bit too. You know what I mean? It's not. There was pauses in between, and thinking about, what I should do and stuff. But I guess in a way, you could say that's what I was doing.
But did anybody try and run, or did it
No,
fall under the table?
see, I thought everybody was going to try to run out the door, but nobody did. They all went under the table.
And nobody charged you to try and stop you.
No.
All right, and we'll come back more. But so you go through the one woman you didn't shoot at all. She looked at you, and then there was another person you said you didn't shoot at all. Was that a woman or a man or?
Yeah, I think it was a woman.
Okay. Did she look at you too, or?
No, she wasn't looking.
Why didn't you
I
shoot?
mean, she might have got shot. I'm not saying she didn't get shot, but I'm saying I didn't aim at her and shoot.
Okay. Was there a reason why you didn't aim at her and shoot?
No, I can't really see a reason.
Okay, so after you shoot, do you leave all your magazines laying on the ground?
Yes.
Except for you put a fresh one in, so your 8th magazine you load.
Right.
So you leave the bag there, you've got the gun. What do you do next?
Well, then I leave.
Right. Well, I mean, but you go out the door and
The same door I came.
Okay, and where did you go to? I mean, where's your
I
car?
went to my car.
And where had you parked at?
Right by the door.
Just out on the street, or is there a parking lot?
Literally right by the store.
So
In
you-
a parking space.
So this
Right
is
out.
this is a street parking right out here.
No. They've got a gate, you see, and then they've got parking spaces.
So you went into the gate and parked,
Yes.
and then got out, parked by the door, walked in, walked out. Would you mind initialing this? and write the word door right there.
Initial on this?
Well, so it's yours, so later you can say, yeah, that's me. Just write the word door right there.
You can write initial, like right above where you were
I don't know if I said initial.
That's fine. That's okay. You don't have to. That's fine. But anyway, so you go and you get your car, and you get and leave. So where do you go?
Well, to be honest, I was in absolute awe that there was nobody out there after I had shot that many bullets. I was like, oh my God, what are these cops doing? They're not even really doing their job. If you hear how many shots, I don't know how many shots that was. You know, what is it? 7 times 11, 77. You know, there's not even a cop outside. You know, so obviously when I walked out that door, you know, I peeked out the door because I thought there was going to be somebody there ready to shoot me. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's really why I had the last magazine. Is not to shoot cops, it's so I could shoot myself. You see what I'm saying? When I saw a cop.
So you had it. So if the law enforcement would have showed up, you were going to go ahead and just.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ever shoot at a cop. I was going to shoot myself. But anyway, like I said, there was no cop. So I just got in my car and then I just drove out of Charleston, you know, onto the interstate.
To 26. Like the interstate going back to Columbia.
They would think it was in that direction, but I didn't go back to Columbia.
Where'd you go to?
Charlotte.
So you drove up 26 to. Did you drive up the interstate the whole way to Charlotte?
No.
Or you take it back to?
I was taking all kinds of roads. I don't know.
What was the reason you chose to drive to Charlotte?
Well, I just didn't want to go back to Columbia, and I just, like I said, you know, I was still in all that I even was driving at all. I even got away. You
Sure,
know what I'm saying?
sure.
So I just picked a place.
So you didn't expect to survive.
Oh no.
So okay, so we'll go back to where you were, because I had some more questions getting or you know, to that point. Are these the clothes you were wearing last night, or did you change?
Yes.
So
No,
you
I haven't changed.
So those were the Timberland boots and the black pants. Did you have a jacket or a hoodie on or something?
Yeah. No, I had a long sleeve shirt on.
Oh,
Over this.
Over there. Where's that at now?
It's
in your car. Okay, so these are clothes you wore. And essentially, we'll come back to where you went. So I'm just going to kind of recap. You picked the AME church out, the African American Episcopal Church. It's a historic church, been around a long time. It's a black church. You knew there'd be black people there, probably not any white people there, right? Because you did not want to kill any white people. You went there with the intent to kill black people in retaliation for what other black people have been doing in the United States. That's why you went, right? And so, and to make a point, right? I don't know if we would call it is it to use it? Sometimes we use the word political or revolutionary or.
Well, I guess it could be considered political.
Political. So, is it safe to say, you don't like black people?
Well, I don't like what black people do.
Okay, that's fair. What black people as a race do, right? Is that what you're saying? Or in America, or the whole world, or what?
In America, in Europe, there's a whole bunch of black people in Europe now doing the same things.
So what you did, this shooting was all about because they were black. It wasn't. That's why. I know because, and let me make sure I'm clear on this. You've already said, if it wouldn't have been black people in that church, you would have never walked in there and shot them. It was because of your belief, your understanding of what black people in America and the world are doing to society, the crimes and everything else. And you wanted to, it was a retaliation or a...
Right, well, honestly, I realize that these people, they're at church, they're not criminals or anything. That's not the point. Because the criminal black people kill innocent white people every day.
So what was your point then? What point were you trying to make? You said right there, these people were in church, they were innocent.
Right.
But what was the point of targeting them?
Because I just knew that would be a place where there would be at least, a small amount of black people, in one area.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I thought about going to like a black festival or something like that, but then they got security and stuff, and you got to wait for the date. You can't do it whenever you're ready.
So we're understanding you correctly. You specifically did your homework, obviously, because you were quoting statistics earlier. You did research, so you specifically chose an area where there would be all African Americans there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you in any type of earlier you mentioned like the neo-Nazis.
Yeah,
skinheads.
Skinheads. I wish there were, but there aren't.
So you're not in any? Are you in any groups like that?
No.
Or I guess you have other associates or friends that are. Well, let me back up. Would you consider yourself a white supremacist? I know sometimes that's hard, but the white people are superior.
I'm a white nationalist.
A white nationalist.
A white supremacist.
Okay.
What's your definition of the two then? Because you said you're not a white supremacist, you're a white nationalist. What's in your mind? What's the difference?
How about this? I do consider myself a white supremacist. Sure. White people are superior. That's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Right. That the white race is superior to all the other races. And so you're
No. I don't think there's, like, for example, you got East Asian people, they got higher IQs than white people. I don't have a problem admitting that, it's just the facts.
So as a white supremacist, it's only to certain races?
Right. Well, look, white people are superior to blacks or, Hispanics. But then you got white Hispanics,
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
or Indians, Arabs, Southeast Asians, Only other races probably, about equal to white people would be like East Asians, like Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, people like that.
But as a white supremacist, you still think the white race is superior to East Asians, even though they have a higher IQ. You said the higher IQ than
I
Caucasians.
think maybe in general, yes. I mean, because we've invented a lot more stuff than them, but they're good at improving on our inventions.
Sure, but in your mind, the white race is the dominant race.
No, I don't think the white race is the dominant race. I wish it was, though. I think it should be. That's the problem.
Do you think, like what you did last night, do you think that helps to maybe, are you trying to start a revolution to where other people say, hey, it's time to stand up, and if everybody does this? You understand what I'm saying?
I'm not delusional. I don't think, that something like what I've done could start like a race war or anything like that, But
I mean, would you like that? I mean, would that help?
Well, a race war would be pretty terrible.
Yeah.
People dying all the time.
Yeah, it would.
But I'd rather just just be able to like reinstate segregation or something like that. Without there having to be a race war. But there probably will be a race war eventually.
But just segregation, right? I mean, it's all.
I mean, that would be okay with me for right now, but like I said, that's sort of unrealistic. That black people aren't just going to let themselves, go back into segregation. Not that segregation was bad, it wasn't.
How long have you felt this way? I mean, I guess my question is, was there ever a time where you?
Right. Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The first thing that I would say woke me up, would be the Trayvon Martin case, and that was a while back.
Right.
What was it, 2 years ago? And I kept hearing about this kid, and I'm like, eventually I decided to look his name up, just type him into Google, you know what I'm saying? And then I read the Wikipedia article about Trayvon Martin. And I couldn't understand what the big deal was. You see what I'm saying? And then, for some reason, after I read that, I typed in. For some reason, it made me type in the words "black on white crime," and that was it. Ever since then.
So prior to that, you really didn't think too much about black and white relations or white and black relations.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, you live in South Carolina. There's so many black people here. every white person in South Carolina probably has at least a little bit of racial awareness, you know, naturally because there's so many black people, but it's superficial, you see what I'm saying? There's no real understanding behind it.
Right. So basically, after the Trayvon Martin incident, you said it woke you up, and you did a little bit of research.
Right.
After you researched that, and you started looking at, you said black on white crime. Is that correct?
Right.
So what happened after that? If you could just carry me through the. You studied that. Were there other research topics that you looked into?
Well, then I found out, you know, like I said, what's happening in Europe. In a lot of ways, it's even worse over there than it is here. London's only 60% white. You know, you've got so many Muslims over there in Europe. They're being swamped. There's going to be a race war in Europe, too, I bet. You know, France, they don't even take demographics.
Well, on this incident, did you share, I mean, were any of your views shared by any of your friends or anything? I mean,
Oh, no.
did you ever talk to any of them about it?
No.
Now, going back, do you have a phone, a cell phone or anything?
Oh, no, I don't even have something.
How do you communicate with
I don't.
You don't?
No.
So like if your dad or somebody wanted to get a hold of you, would they get a hold of you?
Oh, I just call my house phone, I guess.
Okay. Now, who's your best friend?
Well, I don't have a best friend.
Or do you have a friend? Do you know? Do you know a guy named Joey Meeks?
Yes.
Are y'all friends?
Yes.
Did he know anything about you planning to do this? Did you talk to him about it? What you were going to do? Okay. Does he share some of the same views you do? I mean, usually, sometimes our friends, we hang with people that share our views. I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Like-minded people.
But I've never even, talked about race around, other people and stuff like that because they probably wouldn't agree with me. You see what I'm saying?
So, okay. Well, what about at home?
No.
You don't know what
Because they wouldn't like it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like your dad didn't know.
Oh no. Because they wouldn't like it.
You're right. They would say, hey.
Did you ever bring that topic up to your dad or your sister or anybody, grandparents? Did you ever just talk about it and then? No. Never.
Well, we're going back to the last night again at the church. Do you know about how many men or women that were there? Or
right. 8. I'm guessing.
Okay. If I told you that someone there said that when you started shooting, or right when you did it, that you said, "I have to kill black people,"
I didn't say that.
You don't remember saying that?
No, I didn't. I probably said something similar to that.
What do you think?
In the middle of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
Okay.
like when I started shooting.
Because that's right. When you started shooting, you just pulled out, and started shooting because you wanted to get the jump on.
Of course.
Right, because if they saw it, somebody might have tackled you or whatever before you got the gun out.
Right.
And you thought about that.
Right.
Man, did you practice somewhere
No,
drawing?
I didn't practice or anything like that.
Did you ever go to the gun range or out the country to practice shooting?
Well, I'd shot my gun before, But
Where would you go?
I just shot it at my house.
At Eastover.
Right, because that's outside.
Yeah, it's in the country. Where'd you get what kind of bullets did you use?
Just the 45 bullets.
I mean, did you try and buy any special bullets, hollow points?
Yeah, they were hollow points, but they were just the cheap kind.
Did you get those instead of ball for any reason, or did you even think about it, or just that's what you had?
Well, no, I just saw them there and it sounded good.
So you bought the bullets. So walk me through this. When did you decide? All right, I know you went to the church before and you found out they had church meetings on Wednesday. So at some point you then decide, okay, you have your gun, right? You bought that just a while back. You go to the store and you say, all right, I'm going to buy these, but I got to get the bullets for the job.
No, I had bullets. I had bought bullets weeks ago.
Okay, but did you buy that? Did you buy the bullets with the intent of going to kill the black people? If you're at the gun store and you're like, yeah, these bullets right here, these are the bullets I need to get.
Well, I guess so. But I could have used them just to shoot the gun too. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But you wanted,
right. I had to have enough bullets,
right?
To fill up the magazines, sure.
And the hollow points, gun bullets that are known to stop people.
Right.
Just like we carry bullets that are, we want to carry good bullets, and so you thought that. I'm just saying, did you think about it? I mean,
Yeah, I thought about it.
okay. And where did you buy the bullets at?
Walmart.
Just Walmart. Which do you know which one?
Well, actually, I bought them at different Walmarts. Not for any reason. It's just I didn't have the money, to buy them.
So you just kind of stockpile. I mean, no, I say stop it. You're in Walmart.
Well, it's just two. It was only 2 boxes, but 2 boxes of bullets.
So you bought 1 box in one Walmart and 1 box in another.
Yeah.
Do you remember which Walmarts they were?
No, but they're all around Columbia. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
They're all around Columbia.
Did you use a credit card or pay cash for that? Do you remember how you paid for the bullets?
I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell.
So now we're kind of going back to what you mentioned before when you left, and you're kind of in shock. Hey, the police didn't show up. I'm alive. I didn't have to kill myself, because that's what you were going to do when you came out, right?
Right.
And so you're like, where do I go? And you drove all over till you decided to come to Charlotte.
Right.
And why did you decide to come to Charlotte?
I don't know. Just the names. I just wanted to come to Charlotte. Pretty much.
Did you-
It was sort of close. Not too far away.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of gas.
Were you?
And obviously, I didn't want to use my debit card at the gas station. Because that they can track it.
That's right. Did
But
you?
obviously, I did use my debit card eventually.
What did you use it at?
I used it at ATM because I had to get more gas.
How much cash you get? Cash. You got cash at the ATM, right?
Yeah, I only got $20.
Okay. And then you went and got some gas.
Yeah.
Where at?
Yeah, that's in Charlotte.
Okay. Now, then you drove out this way to Shelby.
Yeah.
Were you when they stopped you? Were you driving or were you?
Yeah, I was driving.
And so they pulled you over. What'd you think? What went through your head?
Oh well, I knew they were going to get me eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for them.
Where was the gun? I mean, did you think?
No, the gun was in the back seat. Oh no.
By that time, you said, I guess I'm not gonna have to kill myself, right?
Right, I had already decided that it's just a bad idea.
Yeah. Did you when the policeman pulled you over? And obviously you didn't want to do it. I mean, you had decided, all right, I'm just gonna give up at that point. Okay. Did you say anything to the policeman when he pulled you over and he walked up to the car?
Oh no, I didn't say anything. Just told him to put my hands on the wheel and that's it.
He didn't tell you why he was stopping you? I mean, you knew,
why
right?
he was stopping me.
Yeah. But did you tell him I did it, or do you remember saying anything like that?
No, I didn't say anything like that. They just said, are you connected to what happened? I think something like that. I just said yes.
Okay. And then you told him. I think you said you told him the gun's in the car.
Right. They said, is there anything in the car? And then I said, yeah, the gun's on the back seat.
Okay.
Where were you headed to when they stopped you?
Well, it might sound sort of weird, but I was going to try to go to Nashville.
Nashville? Why?
Yeah.
Why Nashville?
Why not?
Yeah.
For no reason. I've never been to Nashville.
Yeah.
But it's sort of far away. I don't know if I've been able to make it.
So you really didn't have a good escape plan because you didn't think you'd make it out.
Right. There was no escape.
Had you thought about going, hey, I get some more bullets and go shoot some more people?
Oh,
Or were you
no,
kind
I
of-
was worn out. There's no way.
How did it make you feel afterwards? I mean, it's got to be a lot of adrenaline, right? Driving back.
No, really not an Indian adrenaline.
Are you glad you did what you did? I mean, do you think it sent the message you wanted it to send?
Well, I really couldn't tell you. I have no clue whether it sent a message or not.
But how do you feel personally about it? Are you glad you did it?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm glad I did it, but I've done it. So,
You said it was something you had to do.
yeah, I have to do it.
If you could back up, would you do it again? I mean, that's how strongly you felt about this issue, right?
Well, at the moment, if I could back up to where I was just still sitting at the table thinking about walking out, I might walk out, I'm not going to lie. But,
Yeah.
I want it.
So what is your thought about those people, though? Because I think you kind of alluded to earlier. In your mind, they're innocent people, right? I mean, there was clearly church-going people. They're in a Bible study.
Well, I'm trying not to really think about it,
But I mean, I guess the question would be: is it because they were black that really kind of overrode everything else? Because you had to send that message.
Well, it's like this. You see, I'm not in the position, by myself, to go into like a black neighborhood, or something like that, and shoot up, drug dealers or something like that. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to do anything. You see what I'm saying? I had to go somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
So what you said, you had to go somewhere where you could shoot some people without getting shot. I mean, that right?
Right. Even if it, not necessarily that, like, say a black drug dealer would have shot me, but say I would have shot him, that's only one person. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so it wasn't the fact that you could have shot him and he might have shot you.
Right.
It was the fact that you knew I could shoot more people, like you alluded to, or you said earlier.
Right.
There was several people in that. Do you wish there would have been more people in there? I mean,
no, because like I said, if that was the case, I would have shot everybody in there. You see what I'm saying? Afterwards, it was just like, that's why I didn't shoot that other lady. I could have, but I didn't.
Do you remember telling that lady, "I'm going to let you live so you can tell my story"? Or something
Yeah,
like
I don't remember saying that, but there's really no story.
What did she say to you when you said that?
I don't think she said anything.
Yeah.
But I guess you said that, right? Because you thought you were going to walk out the door and probably you didn't think he was going to leave that alive. Leave there
I
alive.
didn't really know, like I didn't hear anything out there, but I thought they probably had it out there or something.
The police.
Right.
And did you buy all those magazines at one time when you got the gun? Does two usually come with it, or did you buy the spare? Did you pick them up as you had money?
Yeah, I just picked them up as I had money.
And did you give them a shooter's choice also, or?
I think I got most of them at Shooter's Choice, but I might have gotten a couple somewhere else. But I think I got most of them at Shooter's Choice.
So do you remember filling out the 4473, that form, the ATF form you had to
yeah.
fill out to get the gun, and you put all your information on there,
Right.
and all that and everything. Okay. And so, is that the only gun you have?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the only gun you've ever known?
Right.
And did you carried that and kept that with you, or where did you keep that gun before last night?
Oh, I had it with me in my car.
Right, but normally, did you always drive around with it, or did you keep it at the house?
Well, for the past week or two, I had it in my car.
Is that because you were at any time ready to go, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Did you purchase that weapon for the very purpose, doing what you did last night? Was that the reason you purchased the weapon?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just wanted a gun, pretty much.
Right. How long ago was it, would you say, that you actually, just so I could backtrack, I don't want to keep having you go over the same stuff over and over again. I'm just trying to understand and make sure I understand correctly. You say you really never thought about a lot of this stuff until roughly the Trayvon Martin incident, correct?
Yes.
So when you saw that, you got upset and you started doing some research on the computer, and you didn't like the statistics that you saw.
Right.
And that was roughly 2 years ago or so.
Right.
You seem very well versed and very well educated on, black on white crime or white on black crime, this, that, and the other. So you've done quite a bit of research. Is that safe to say?
Oh yeah, I know a lot more stuff I could talk about, but
Like what kind of stuff?
I mean, just everything. I can't think of it now, but yeah, but what you're saying, yeah.
Sure. Did you read a lot? Did you read books or watch videos or watch movies or YouTube or anything like that specifically about that subject matter?
No, it's pretty much just reading articles.
Reading articles?
Yeah.
And the more you read, the more...
Obviously I've seen videos of, white people being, beaten and stuff like that, but...
Well, and Stan, where Craig's at on it, in clothes, what kind, did you like to wear black clothes and stuff a lot? I mean, was that kind of like...
I don't like black. Black's it's a nice color for clothes.
Yeah. You don't have that picture again. Oh, yeah. And that's obviously that's a picture of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that? Is that
This is in Charleston.
in Charleston? Who took the picture?
Me, I set it up on this post.
Well, not that one. But
No,
one
well,
like,
yeah,
right here, the post right here.
Right.
Okay. When was this picture taken?
maybe 2000. It could have been. It could have even been 2014. I'm not really sure.
So it wasn't when you went down there before and checked the church out.
Oh no! I mean, I've been to Charleston a bunch of times.
Okay, so you should you like that? You just go like that jacket right there.
Mhm.
That's not the jacket you were wearing last night, right?
Oh no! I was just wearing a long sleeve shirt.
Was it a black long sleeve shirt?
No, it was gray.
Gray. Okay. What are those patches right there?
Oh well, that's the South. That's the old South African flag, and that's the Rhodesian flag.
Old South, like we're back when.
Yes.
Okay.
Rhodesia.
Can you tell me about?
In South Africa.
So the old back when apartheid and back when it was a British colony, South Africa.
Right. That's the apartheid flag, and then Rhodesia. You know, that was a country in southern Africa, right above South Africa.
And was that their flag back when it was
Mhm.
controlled by the white?
Right now it's Zimbabwe.
Okay, but that's back when the white people controlled.
Right.
And what is?
Oh, that's just. I got that jacket at Goodwill. That's just like a Richland County Academic All Stars or something.
Oh, okay.
Did those patches come on that jacket when you got it, or did you buy them and put them on there?
I bought them.
So what was So what is the reason why you chose those parts? Out of all the patches you could have chose, why did you choose those two patches?
Well, because they represent white people ruling in the homeland of Africans and ruling as minorities. You know.
Ruling as minorities?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Okay. How come you got that mean look on your face in those pictures?
No, I don't think he looks mean.
Was that? I mean, you're not smiling. Were you trying to? I mean, or is that just you don't? What? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's 1488. You guys probably know what that means.
Why don't you explain to me what that means?
14 stands for we must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children, and 88 stands for Heil Hitler.
So would you consider yourself a neo-Nazi then?
No, because you know,
No.
I think to be considered a neo-Nazi, you got to be part of a real movement or something. You see?
Do you disagree with what Hitler did? Do you support Adolf Hitler? Because you're saying Hail Hitler in that statement there.
Right. No, I support Hitler.
And where was this? Is that in the?
Yeah, that's on Sullivan's Island.
Okay, you drew that in there and then took the
Yeah, I
picture?
just drew that.
Wait, how long ago was that taken?
Yeah, that's where it was.
So all these would have been at the same time frame, you think, or?
Yes, actually, I think they were.
Can you explain it to me again what that 1488 means? Because I've never heard it.
We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. That's the 14 words, and then 88 stands for Heil Hitler because it's HH. You know.
And who came up with the 1488 slogan? Do you remember the name of the person?
I know you know who it is. God. Is his last name Lane? I don't.
Well, who was he though? To you, you don't know his name.
Oh no, I don't know anything about him. I just heard his name or saw his name.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what his name is. But he just came. He just came up with the 14 words.
Right.
He didn't come up with 88.
And so you identify with and agree with what those numbers represent?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you believe that your actions last night? I mean, that'll make you a martyr amongst people of similar beliefs? I mean, was that kind of your goal, to become a martyr? I mean, if you're thinking you're going to kill yourself, that's kind of what a martyr does, right? For the cause?
Well, yeah, that would be nice, sure, but I don't really know if that's what would happen or not. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, did you want people to know who you were and what your cause was? Or were you trying to bring this attention
Yes.
to the cause?
Yes, I'd say so.
So, sure.
Can you tell me about this?
Oh, that's just a DVD. This is made in Britain.
Well, I know that.
It's okay.
I read the back of that, and you obviously watched the movie. What's this movie about?
This movie is just about a British skinhead in the 80s, like 82, I think. It's not really that. It's not really like a real racist movie or anything like that. It's more just he's just a delinquent, pretty much.
Well, it talks about the skinhead whose random acts of racism, vandalism, and violence.
Right, but if you watch it, there's really nothing violent in it.
No.
No.
What about American History X? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What are your thoughts on that movie?
That's an okay movie, but you know, it's got an anti-white ending. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I think it's funny because that's a good movie, you know, but at the end of the movie, the only reason they give for you not to be a skinhead is because it's bad to go around with so much hate in your heart. That's literally the reason they give, and that's the only counter reason they have. You see what I'm saying?
So in the movie, when Edward Norton's character went to prison and changed his ways and saw that people are, you know, everybody's kind of the same on the inside, no matter what their skin is on the outside, and everybody has the same struggles that they just may not, you know, I don't know what a black man's struggle is, just like he really doesn't know what my struggle is. You know, we all have our own things we go through in life, you know. So in that movie, I mean, that's the whole point, right? So you're saying the way it turned out when Edward Norton comes out and he now realized he was wrong, you're saying he should have come out and realized he wasn't wrong.
Of course.
Right? That he should have...
There was no, you know, it's just a movie.
Yeah, it is.
Right, but there's a lot of symbolism behind movies. Like in the beginning of the movie, it
like
shows...
in the beginning of the movie, the first part of that movie is great. It's good.
Why is that great?
Because, you know, it shows him being, you know, in the beginning of the movie, I don't know. It's just, that's an okay movie. I don't really like it.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, kind of going back, I keep saying that, kind of going back, so I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. Do you have any remorse?
Oh, I think it's too soon.
What about regrets?
Yeah, I'd say so.
What do you regret?
Oh, it's, you know, I regret doing it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But part of you is glad you did it. Still, I mean, I kind of sense that from you, right? I mean, part of you. So you're proud. I mean, you're part. I mean, part of you.
No,
Is
because like I said, I don't really know exactly what I've done. You know, I don't.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know how many people are killed or anything.
And how many do you think anybody died? I mean,
I think.
or do you
Yeah,
know?
I think somebody died.
I mean, how do you know? I mean, you would
I
know.
don't know for sure. That's the problem.
I mean, did you shoot anybody in the head?
No, I don't think I did.
Was it all?
Intentionally, I didn't. I mean, I intentionally didn't shoot anybody.
Were you aiming down the sights, or were you just shooting, pointing and shooting? You know,
Right, I was just pointing, but I didn't aim anybody's head.
And getting back to his question, if I were to tell you that yes, there are dead people, do you regret that? Or mission accomplished. You said it was something you had to do, so it's kind of one or the other, you know.
No, it isn't one or the other. It isn't.
So, well, but what he's saying is, I mean, let me go. Your mission it wasn't just to go shoot people. It was to kill black people, right? I mean, you know, 45, Glock 45. That everyone knows that's the handgun. If you want to take care of business, I mean, that does the job, right? That's why you bought that handgun.
Well, yeah. When I got a gun, I wanted to get the best, biggest caliber.
Biggest caliber, and the Glock that holds the most bullets for a 45. I mean, there may be some that hold more. I don't know, you know, whatever. But and they're good guns. I mean, the police carry those guns. I mean, that's it's a good gun, and it's. But going back, your mission, your plan that you had established and decided you wanted to do, well, it was to kill black people. Mm-hmm. As many black people as you could in one location.
Right. Well, that was the original idea, but like I said, when I got in there, you know, it was not really about how many I could kill anymore. You see what I'm saying?
What was it about?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like, you know, after I'd already shot people, it's like I didn't really even feel like I needed to shoot, you know, everybody. You see what I'm saying?
Which again, it goes back to what we said a while ago. Part of that, you know, you thought you were probably going to die, and someone could tell the story.
You know, that's more really an excuse.
Yeah.
It's not really. It's really that I just didn't want to kill her.
So,
See what I'm saying?
So if I told you 9 people died last night, how would that make you feel?
And I wouldn't believe you.
It was 9.
There wasn't even 9 people there.
It was just a little bit over 9. But it's hard when you're looking at the tables to judge people.
Because you said when you went in there, you said it could have been 6, 8. You really weren't certain. You know.
Are you guys lying to me?
No, we're not.
8 people were dead at the scene. 2 were rushed to the hospital. So I guess it was 10 people were shot. Actually had gunshot injuries. It's my understanding. The 9th person died at the hospital, but 8 people were dead on the scene when they showed up. I mean, so how do you feel?
In all honesty.
Well, it makes me feel bad.
But also, but as Craig was saying, I mean, your mission was to kill black people, and I mean, you killed 9 black people.
You said earlier that you, just to recap, after watching the Trayvon Martin, you got upset, you started doing research. You said you could have done it in Columbia, but you chose not to. You picked out that particular church because of the historical meaning behind the church. You actually drove out to the church. There was a black lady, you said, getting into her car as you were walking by, and you found out that there was going to be a Bible study there. So you knew that there was going to be a large concentration of black people at the study. You said you went into the study. So you thought about this, you finally made the decision, you had your weapon, you said maybe April or so is when you got the weapon, so now you had your weapon. You said you bought 2 different boxes of ammunition, one at one, possibly one Walmart, one at the other, so you didn't buy it all at one time, but you over 77 rounds over time you collected. You brought that weapon with you in a bag, you said you had X amount of, correct me if I'm wrong, was it 7 magazines? 8 magazines altogether. All right, you went into there, you went into the Bible study, you walked in through the door. You saw these 2 tables. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you drew 10 people. You sat right here at this table. You sat for about 15 minutes. Could have been 20. Could have been 10. And you said you just had to do it. You said so when you stood up. You said you started shooting. When you went back to the door, you told us that you fully anticipated after firing 77 rounds that law enforcement would have responded. You were fully anticipating that, and you said you kept an extra magazine, but you weren't going to use that magazine on the police. You were going to use it on yourself. But when you looked outside and you saw the police weren't there, you were kind of shocked. You said, wow, geez, the police aren't doing their job. You specifically parked inside the gated area. You said you got into your vehicle. You started to drive, and you said you thought of Charlotte for some reason. So you drove to Charlotte. At some point in time, you said you used your card to get $20 out of an ATM. And you needed more gas, and then you decided at the last second that maybe going to Nashville might be a good idea because you had never been there before, and then you got stopped by the police. But the whole reason you did this, just so I understand correctly, again, and you've already told it, I just want to make sure we understand you correctly, is after you never really thought about race relations until the Trayvon Martin incident. You did research, and it really started to irritate you because day after day after day after day in your mind, or what you perceive from watching the news, there's black on white crime and it goes unnoticed, nobody cares, doesn't matter. And you actually quoted an FBI statistic on rape. You broke it down to about 2 rapes. Was it 2 rapes per day? Is that what it is?
2 rapes per state.
2 rapes per state per day. And then that upsets you. And you basically said that when you went into the church, you had made your mind up that you had to do this. You said it had to be black victim, it had to be black, you were targeting black individuals because there's no skinhead movement anymore. There's no KKK movement anymore. And your whole goal was basically to do what? You said to kill black people, but what was the reason? What was the reason? What does this do? I guess my question is there's 9 people that are dead. You said that you said the goal was to kill black people, specific, just black, because they are black, because you're sick and tired of what's black on white crime and no one's paying attention to that. The lack of movement with the skinhead movement and the KKK. So you said you wanted to kill black people. Now that you did, what are your thoughts? What message do you want to be told to the public? What do you want people to remember Dylann Roof for?
it's tough, right? Thinking about on that whole thing, when you go through, but knowing, and even before, I mean, you knew your actions were going to kill people. You said you believe at least probably one guy probably died. I think early on you said you shot 4 or 5. You thought maybe 4 or 5 people were dead. I may be misspeaking, but you knew when you left, when you were driving, before you got stopped, before you messed, you were under the assumption you killed 4 or 5 people, right?
Yes, that's true.
But your numbers were doubled. It was 9. So, I mean, you've done it. I mean, what do you think should happen to you?
I don't know how to answer that.
Well, I mean, I guess you're guilty. You wouldn't dispute that. You're guilty of killing the 9 people. Nobody else walked in there and picked up a gun and was with you shooting those 9 people. Or shooting people, right? It was just Dylann Roof, right? Right. So there's nobody helped you plot. There's no co-conspirator in this case. No one put you up to this. This was your plan. You schemed it. You did it, right?
Right.
Okay, so what... As a result, now I've done that. Someone that's killed 9 people. What do you think? If you took black or white out of the issue, or let's say this, say a black man walked into a church and killed 9 white people, what should happen to him?
You already know the answer. Just tell us. I mean, I can see by the look on your face you already have a thought. So what was your thought on that when he asked you?
Well, you should probably die too, I guess.
Well, and I'm not sitting there saying, oh, you think you should die, because I mean, you thought you were going to die anyway carrying out this mission. But I guess the question I'm asking, you've said it. I just wonder, are you guilty of this? Would you consider this a crime?
Yes.
And you're guilty. We'll say it again.
I am guilty. We all know I'm guilty.
Here's the thing. The reason why he'll say that, and he asks you to, we don't ever want to put words in your mouth. We're not going to.
Right,
We're not
I
going
know
to make
you need me to say it. I get it.
And part of what we want to know, and part of what we're asking these questions, is we want to know: is there somebody else involved? Is there somebody, that nurtures you and like led you down this path, or was this just Dylann? Did Dylann just come up with this all on his own, as you said, or is there somebody else there that's recruiting, training, and getting people and saying, "Hey, let's go do this"?
No, I mean it's pretty much just it sounds lame, I don't really like to say it, but it's pretty much just the internet,
Yeah.
All the information's there for you.
Can you, other than the movie that you watched, that Britain movie, we talked about American History X, which you said is not a good movie. Are there specific books that you've read about this subject matter?
Books?
Articles, magazines, authors?
I've never really read any books. I haven't even read, Mein Kampf or anything like that,
Was there anything that you read, music that you listened to, videos that you watched to help you get into the mindset to carry this out? To help, for instance, I played football, back in the day. And prior to football games, I used to like listening to AC/DC because it was hard rock music to get me pumped up. We'd play it in the locker room, we'd go on the field. So I guess what I'm trying to ask you is there anything that you did in preparation for this to get you to the point where when you were sitting there, when you said, you made that decision, I got to do this, was there anything that you did to prepare yourself so you can say to yourself, I got to do this and I'm going to carry this out? Is there anything you did to prepare yourself? No?
But I mean, it's pretty much like I had been preparing myself mentally.
Okay, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
that.
Tell me about that. That's what I want to know. Tell me about the mental preparation. Because what I really want to know is, like you said, you walked by the church, that lady was getting into the car, so you knew there's going to be a large concentration of African American people, black people in that church. Those were your victims. You decided you had to kill them, you had to do it, you had to send a message. You said there was some mental preparation that you did. So I want to know a little bit about the mental preparation, but I also want to know, when was it that you decided, I'm going to do this? Was it on June 16th? Was it yesterday when you woke up in the morning? Is it when you left your mom's and you said, that's it, I saw this thing on the news, I'm fed up, I'm going to send a message? When did you decide, I'm going to do this?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me?
I mean, I've been thinking about it.
Right. All right. How long have you been thinking about it?
can't say.
Well, would it go back as far as the Trayvon Martin? Because you said that's...
No, it wouldn't go back that
Wouldn't go back that far. That's what got you interested in statistics.
About it, you see what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about you doing anything.
When did you start actually thinking about maybe I should send a message myself? When did that start?
I don't want to answer it. But you know, it wasn't that long ago.
Was there anything that happened that long ago? Or was like
No,
a movie
no.
or something you read or that said, hey, you know what?
No, it's just an accumulation.
I mean, was anything else going on beyond the Trayvon? I mean, there's been a lot of high-profile incidents
you
across
got
the
all
country.
other things happening too. I just said Trayvon Martin because that was just the very
That was
first
the beginning.
Right.
And when you're talking about the different incidents.
I mean, I don't care about Trayvon Martin or anything like that. That's just what made me start.
What are some of the other things that have happened since then that got your attention, I guess?
Well, you know, like the Ferguson thing, that I really didn't pay too much attention to because by the time that happened, I'm already completely awake. You see what I'm saying? I don't even really need to pay attention to it anymore because I already understand it. You see what I'm saying?
Understand what?
Once you already understand what's going on, I don't even need to watch the news. Because I already know what's happening.
That's what I want to understand. You're saying you're completely awake and you understand what's going on.
You know, it's being racially aware. You know, that's a real thing.
Racially aware of what?
Racially aware in itself. You know, that's where you view everything that happens ever through a racial lens.
And that's what you do?
Yes, you have to view everything through a racial lens. Everything that happens, because that's how black people think. Black people, from the day they're born, are racially aware, but white people aren't, because we're brainwashed not to be. But I am, because it sounds corny.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying.
No. That sounds corny, but I guess that's the only way to put it.
We understand what you're saying, but where did you learn this? I mean, I know you say the internet, but are there sites? I mean, what inspired you to go, I got to research this?
Because Dylan, believe me when I tell you, you know, and Michael and I have interviewed many people and with each other, and you're an intelligent individual. And the bottom line is the fact that you make maybe grades at a school or things like that don't reflect it, but you're an intelligent person. The fact that you're able to read and comprehend and maintain specific knowledge, you know, you're highly aware. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And I did want to put, obviously, I don't think I asked that question I usually do. You said you got your GED. You can read and write.
Right.
Yeah, because you had to. I mean, that's the question. I was like, well, could you read and
Right.
write? Of course. I mean, I knew, but you can't. You said you could.
You said that black people are basically racially aware from the time they're born, but white people are asleep.
From the day black people are born, they're viewing everything that happens to them through a racial lens. That's why they get offended so easy. Sometimes a white person might do something to a black person, and the black person will think it's racist, even when the white person wasn't even thinking about race, because the black person's viewing this is a white person. You see what I'm saying? This is a white person talking to me. They're always thinking like that.
Sure.
You can ask a black person; they'll probably admit it to you. You know, that's how they think. But white people don't think like that. But eventually, they'll have to. You see what I'm saying? Because we're going to become a minority eventually, if nothing, you know, if nobody does anything.
And that's what led up to yesterday, correct?
Yes, I guess.
Is that what you mean by does anything? Like what you did? I mean, because I guess that's...
Well, I mean, does anything. You know, it doesn't even have to be violent.
Well, like
just
what?
do something.
What are you looking for? Like what are you looking for somebody to do?
Do something. I mean, have some kind of movement, something standing up for white people. Nothing. There's nothing. You know, in Europe or America. You know what I mean? You know, Europe, that's the homeland of white people. And then, you know, God, it's. I've never been to Europe, but like I said, I've read about it. You know, it's terrible what's happening over there. I couldn't, you know, say I wanted to, you know, get away from minorities or something and move to Europe or something. You couldn't even do that because they're there too.
Well, have any black people ever done anything specifically to you, other than what you see going on around you in the world, in your perception of it, right? Have any of them ever done anything specifically to you? Have harmed you? Or
No. I mean, I think, you know, one time probably a black person stole something from me, but, you know, that wasn't a big deal. You see what I'm saying? A black person's never done anything to me personally that made me dislike black people.
Right.
Because of what they did.
With it, it's just because because even in this church, obviously they welcomed you. Nobody, when they hand you a pamphlet and you sit down.
I'm not consider it.
Well, they didn't tell you what do you. Did anybody say what do you want? Can we help? Did anyone say can we help you, or did they say come on in and have a seat? What did they say? Come on, it's important for me to know that.
Let's be honest. I think they were very surprised that a white person was coming into their African church in the first place.
But they didn't say, oh wait, they didn't jump up and say, hey, what are you doing here? They handed you a brochure and said, sit down.
Right.
Because
a black person could go to any white church and they do the same thing.
Because what is, race aside, what's the church about?
Jesus?
Were you raised in the church or?
Yes. Lutheran.
Lutheran, well, that's a church. So, the church is really, although they're predominantly black churches, they're predominantly white churches, and there's people that, there's churches, I go to that both white and black people go to.
Right.
But I've been to plenty of black churches, no one's ever told me, hey, don't come in here. And they didn't tell you they welcomed you. Right? You would say they welcomed you.
No, I wouldn't say they welcomed me. I said they let me sit down.
Okay, so then when you walked in and someone looked, what did somebody say to you?
They just said, Pastor, I think somebody's here to see you, or something like that, and then he handed me a book.
And did he say sit down, young man? I can just imagine in my mind.
I think he pulled out the chair or something like that, and then
So he pulled out the chair.
What was the pamphlet that he handed you? Do you recall?
Yes, it was just like verses.
Okay.
Just verses.
Did you leave that there, or did you take it with you?
Oh, I left it.
Do you remember what they were talking about, or were you just so focused on getting the courage up to do what you needed to do?
I think they were talking about riches or something like that. Riches or something. That's all. I don't remember.
And at that point in time, you said you stood up and you said for a while you were debating, should I go? And then you said, no, I got to do this. So if you can think back to that, what was it that at that moment you decided I have to get up and I got to shoot these people?
It was just, like I said, it was going back and forth in my mind, and
Sure.
eventually it was just like a jerk, like a jerk reaction.
And it was basically a culmination of all the mental preparation you said you were doing over time.
Yeah, I guess. I really wouldn't even say I was fully mentally prepared. It's just, I just did it. I just did it. I just did it.
Well, speaking about mentally prepared, and there's a couple other questions I want to ask you. Are you on any medications?
No.
Did you take any medications last night before you went to the church?
No.
What about drugs?
No.
Do you use drugs?
Sometimes.
Which kinds what do you use?
No, I don't use drugs.
Well, it's okay if you do. If you remember, trust me.
Believe me.
We're not worried about,
I don't use drugs. I don't want to talk about drugs.
Okay, that's fine. But I just asked you, were you under the influence of drugs last night?
No.
Is that because you want to make sure you had a clear head?
Right.
Okay, so
But I don't use drugs that often anyway.
Well, could we just ask you that though? All right, you haven't used them often, but in the past, what have you done in the past? That's in the past, so it's no big deal. But so what have you tried? I know marijuana is legal.
Obviously I've smoked weed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to talk about
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to do that. Whereas, I'm just trying to go through all this on the logical steps. Who's your bank card? Who do you bank with?
First Citizens.
First Citizen. Now, and going back to work, run me through yesterday. Did you go to work yesterday, or did you work with your dad, or?
No, I didn't go to work yesterday.
What'd you do? Where'd you spend? Not obviously we know what happened last night, right? But the night before, which was
The 16th.
the 16th. Where did you? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 16th. Where did you spend? Was it Tuesday night? Monday or? Because you woke up Wednesday
Right.
morning.
I think I was at my dad's house.
Okay, so you spent Tuesday night, woke up Wednesday morning at your dad's house.
Yes.
And what did you do that day?
Did you go anywhere with your granddad, your uncle, your sister,
To be
dad?
honest, I know it seems strange, but I really am honestly trying to think about what I did. I know I went and saw a movie, but I'm trying to think about what I did before that.
What movie did you go see?
I went and saw Jurassic World.
Is that any good?
No, not really.
No.
I don't really like stuff like that. I like drama movies.
Did you go by yourself to the movies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What movie theater did you go to?
Dutch Square?
Dutch Square. And that was that on the Tuesday, or today's what? Today's Thursday? Was that on Tuesday you went to the movie, or Wednesday? Was that Wednesday?
Oh, God.
Wednesday was yesterday.
Yesterday was Wednesday.
Today's Thursday, right now today's Thursday?
Yes.
Yep.
The best I can get, because yes. today's
Yes, I think I did go to it on Wednesday.
All right, so it was Wednesday. So it was yesterday.
Yes.
So you went to the movie. Okay. When did you? So did you spend the night at your dad's on the 16th, going into the 17th?
The Tuesday night?
Yeah. Did you spend the night?
I think so, yes.
You did.
I
Okay.
think so.
So before you went to your dad's to spend the night, what did you do during the daytime on Tuesday? Do you remember?
Daytime on Tuesday?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So you spent the night at your dad's. You woke up yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday.
Right.
Okay. You woke up in the morning.
Yes.
I think your dad, if I'm not mistaken, he owns is it a construction company. Your dad, does he do is he a carpenter? Is he a
Yeah, like
construction contractor? Did you go with him to a job site?
Yes, I did. That's exactly right. Now you got me. Remember.
All right. So what did you do there?
I pretty much just stood there.
Yeah. Your dad was working. Was he estimating a job? What was he doing?
No, they were.
They were working. How long do you remember? How long you were there with him?
Maybe 2 hours.
About 2 hours. Okay. So then you came home to your dad's house, correct? After work.
Yes.
And what happened? What happened then?
You know, actually, now that you got remembering that I went to work, I don't know if I went to the movie on Wednesday. I think that might have been Tuesday.
All right, that's what I was kind of trying to.
Yeah,
I was trying to make because
I'm not
you
sure.
can't do it. There's almost too many. There's not enough hours in the day.
Right.
All right. So Tuesday movies, spend a night at your dad's. You wake up
Yeah.
yesterday. You go to work with your dad. What do you do at the end of the workday with your father? What did you do then?
That's right. I just stayed at his house
Okay.
until I left.
All right. Where'd you go after you left your dad's? You went to your uncles, grandmas, moms. Do you remember where you went?
Yes, I did. I went over.
Yeah. What happened over there?
I just talked to her and I gave her her camera.
Camera. At that point in time, have you already made up your mind that you were going to go to Charleston?
Yes.
You already made your mind up to that?
Right. Well, that's where I was going.
Right. So you already made your mind up. So when you were at your dad's, did you already have it in your mind? When you were at your dad's, did you already make your mind up that you were going to go to Charleston? Or did you make that mind?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
So when you were at work with your dad, you already knew that later that day you were going to drive to Charleston?
Right, but you have to realize, you know, I've thought many times that, today I'm going to go
Today's
to
gonna do-
Charleston. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Had you ever actually driven down there and then backed out before?
Oh, no. I've driven down to Charleston to go shopping.
Right,
stuff
but
like
to
that,
actually
never,
do the-
no,
here.
to never.
Did you ever drive past, other than the one time when you asked that lady about the Bible study, have you ever driven past that place to look at it, to look at the this door goes into the
No,
church?
actually, to be honest with you, I didn't even realize where the entrance was.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was on the back of the church until yesterday.
So you never went there before just to see what it looked like
No.
before?
Only that one.
The one time.
The
Which
one
was
time.
how many weeks ago was that?
How can I tell you?
You can. Okay, and that's when she said Bible studies on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
The reason you did that was because that was going to be the place you were going to go. Is that correct?
Right. Well, that's what I was considering.
Okay, you were considering.
Were you considering any other places?
Well, no, we're not really. It's just that was pretty much the main place. You know, I mean, I had looked up other black churches, but I had never been anywhere else except for that.
What are those ones that you looked up?
I mean, like I said, it's just on the website. You know, it's just got a list. You know, I mean, I had clicked on them, but I don't remember
Like,
the names.
were they all in Charleston or?
Yes, Yes, they were in Charleston.
And again, I know, and I apologize for not starting with context. Was there anything other than the fact that Charleston had been around and a lot of black people live in Charleston? But you know, there's black churches in Columbia.
Right.
I mean, in your dad's neighborhood, there's black churches not that far away. But going down, was there any other with any of the events like the Walter Scott event that happened down there?
Oh, no, that had nothing.
That had nothing whatsoever. It was strictly just because.
It's just Walter Scott. You're talking about that black guy that got shot by the cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, that didn't have anything to do with it. I just like Charleston. That's really it.
And so.
And you said there was a lot of history with that particular
Right, yeah,
church.
yeah.
What was the history? 'Cause I'm not familiar.
Oh no, I don't know any history about that church. I just know it was an historic African Methodist church.
Gotcha.
I don't know anything about
So-
it.
Did you pick your gun up at your mom's house on the way to Charleston?
No, I have my gun.
You had your gun. Did it usually stay at your dad's house or your mom's house? Or?
Where's the case for the gun?
It's in my car.
Right, where did you keep it? Like, obviously, you didn't drive around with the gun in the case. You probably had the gun, and the case was probably somewhere else. Is that right or no?
The box of the.
Where's the box? The box that the gun comes in.
Okay, right now the box is in my car.
Okay.
Okay.
Prior to that, though, prior to putting it
I think
in
it
the
was
car,
at my mom's house.
is it your
yes.
mom's? Did she ever look in there to make sure to see if the gun was locked up properly? Did she ever make you lock the gun up or anything like that?
I don't know why you're asking me that.
I'm just wondering because before I got into law enforcement, I never had a gun. So when I got into law enforcement, I made sure that the box was locked up in case someone came into the house, they couldn't steal my gun. Just wanted to make sure.
Right, well the box was closed.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
But you didn't put a lock on the box or anything like that.
Oh no, I didn't have a lock on the box. Nobody else goes into my room.
Did your mom? Did she mind you having a gun in her house? Did she care, or that didn't bother her?
No, she didn't really like it.
No. Yeah, some people like guns and some don't. So.
Right.
Did your dad or anybody call you and ask you where the gun was last night? Or your mom?
No, they couldn't call me.
Because you didn't have a phone.
Right.
Your dad didn't call you at your mom's house when you got there and talked to you,
No.
or your mom called your dad? Do you remember talking to any of them before you? I mean, I guess you went by and saw both of them before you went to church. You left your dad's house
Right.
and you stopped at your mom's.
Right.
Did you tell them goodbye? I mean, would they have noticed anything different about you?
No. I didn't say goodbye.
Did your dad ever ask it before you went to Charleston? Did you speak to him? Did he ever ask, "Hey, I want you to bring the gun back," or "I don't want you to take. I want the gun"? Did he ask you anything like that?
Well, yeah, I think he did.
What was the
But I think
reason?
you guys already know all this. That's why you're asking me. You know.
Not necessarily, Dylan. Why would he ask for the gun back? What would be the reason for it? Did he help you pay for it? Did he give you money towards it? Because if somebody asks for something back, then they obviously have a vested interest in that object. You know what I mean? If I gave Michael his water, I could take it back because I gave it to him. Or I helped him purchase it. Why would your dad ask for the gun back?
Well, see, I mean, the reason we're asking about your dad and the guns because, I mean, there was this note, right? Is that from your dad? I owe you good for up to $400 toward pistol and CWP permit. I love you, Dad. Based on job, I guess you done some work for him. Happy 21st birthday, that card.
No, that was based on me having a job. See? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, and he was glad you had the job.
Mm-hmm.
But so he gave you did he give you $400? I guess that's the question we wanted to know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not illegal for him to give you $400 as a gift. I mean, I give my kids stuff too. I mean,
Why are you guys asking me this? You're not trying to get somebody else in trouble.
Not at
for what
all.
I did.
no. Here's what you have to understand.
We're trying to understand.
We really, honestly, as you said, you have a story. We're trying to get the whole story because you got to understand. Everyone's going to want to know what was every piece. What does every step happen? One, we need to be able to walk out here with confidence and say, no. For that, I guarantee you, the very first question is there anybody else involved? That's what we're going to be asking. And we need to be able to, with confidence, say no, based on our interview and talk with Dylann. Nobody else was involved. He acted alone. Here's why he did it. Here's what he did. So they're going to ask us these questions. That's why we ask you. I could sit there, we could speculate on what we know or what we've been told or what we don't. But until you tell us it is or it isn't, that's the only way we're going to know for sure. That's why we're asking you questions that, because you're the only person here, the only person that knows the whole story.
The truth.
The truth, right, is you. So that's why we're asking you, is to get the truth out, and so we can understand it. And really, honestly, I mean, you have to understand, I mean, in my mind, I've never thought about going to a black church and killing black people. And so it's hard for me to wrap my head around that. And so that's why I'm asking you these questions, and we're kind of going over and over again, is to really make sure I have a good understanding, and I want to see it from your point of view.
So when you say that you mentally prepared or you read things, the reason why I ask you, well, how did you mentally prepare? What did you read? Is that very reason that Michael brought up? Because we can't understand it unless you explain it to us. It'd be like you're telling us the story as to what happened over the last 48 hours. Unless you tell us the story, all we're going to do is guess and listen to what other people may think. We're kind of going to go right to the source. You're the source. You're the truth. So we're trying to understand that. Without you telling us, we just don't know. That's why we maybe ask the same question over and over again.
Right.
Yeah, and we're not trying to get somebody else in trouble or whatever. But if there was somebody else that was involved or somebody that put you up to, that's our job, right?
But there wasn't.
Right. I know.
Now
You've explained that to us. So now we're just trying to get how we got. Because yes, you're correct. We have talked to your parents. I mean, obviously. I mean, not both of us personally have not talked to each one of them. But I mean, I met your dad this morning. So we know things, and we've talked to him, and we've gone through and stuff. But he doesn't know. I mean, he why and everything else. So we just got the conversations they had and what he had. That's how we know about the gun, right? That you had the gun and everything and stuff. So we just want to make sure we're retracing the life of Dylann Roof, the last 24 hours. What got us all here, and we all intersected together. And that's really the basis for our questions, and just trying to understand that. And was there, because trust me, the community out there right now, they don't know what's going on. They don't know. I mean, if I were black and went to the church, I'm now worried. Am I going to be attacked in church? You have to understand that people are scared now. I mean, when things happen, right? Just like when 9/11 happened, the towers fell. People didn't know if a terrorist was going to fly to the plane into the building. People were scared to fly. People now don't know. Hey, is this some plot? Is this some?
The big question out there, what Michael's saying is, people are saying, "What happens now? What happens now?" I guess what would your message be to them? When they're saying, "Hey, what happens now?" What would you want? What would you want those people to know?
What happens now?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what happens.
Oh, right. Specifically regarding why you did what you did. You said you went out there because someone had to do it.
Right.
You said you had to do it.
Right.
You had to kill black people because of all the crimes and atrocities being committed against white people by black people. Those were your words.
Right.
So now that that's been done,
Right.
what now? That's what people, what now? Now that you actually,
now?
yeah.
And that depends on the other people. You see what I'm saying? I already did what I did. I can't say what happens now. I don't know.
So do you hope other people emulate you and go forward? I mean, and that's.
I wouldn't say that.
Would you want that? Was that in your thought process? If I do this and I'm successful, then other people might get the courage to do it too.
I wouldn't know. I don't think that was in my thought process at all. I was never thinking, if I go shoot people, other people are going to go shoot people. No, not at all. I think more, if I go shoot people, then it'll just cause more agitation.
That's what you thought. It would cause more agitation. So your deal. So is it like if
to
we
agitate race relations
to make it worse?
Right.
So that was ultimately your goal was to make race relations worse, right?
Right. I mean, I guess that's one of my goals. I guess I don't know.
What does that accomplish by making it worse?
Well, it causes friction, and then it could lead to a race war. But like I said,
So are you hoping that you're hoping that white people will rise up and become aware through what you did?
Yes, and that doesn't mean that I want white people to rise up and kill all.
No, but you want them to be aware.
I just want them to do something, for themselves. But stop what's happening to them, and they don't even know what's happening to them.
And obviously,
It doesn't mean you have to kill black people. Just, just make things better.
but in your mind, making things better, right? As you said in the very beginning, going back to segregation, white people are. I mean, white people would need to be running the country, right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. I mean, like no more black presidents, no more black politicians, right? I mean, that's right.
Yeah, no more black president, sure. I
Yeah.
don't think we need a black president.
You don't think we do?
No, I don't think we do.
Right.
But I don't really have an
Okay.
opinion on Obama or anything like that. I don't really care about Obama.
Okay. Well, because it's not part of the deal, but I mean, and I think that if you're saying your goal is to agitate, I mean, I guess it is, but how are we going to get things? So, you really don't want them to get better. You don't want people to start saying, you know what, maybe
But they won't get better unless it's agitated. There's no way. It's not possible. It doesn't work.
But in your view, it only gets better if black people become second-class citizens, right? I mean, really, right? I mean, come on, because somebody has to either, in your world or your mind, either white people are going to become the second-class citizens. But
We
black
are
people-
the second-class citizens. That's the problem. We already are the second-class citizens. That's the problem.
So you want us on equal level, or do you want us superior?
I'd say I'm more superior.
Okay. I got that.
But right now we're inferior. So that's even worse than being equal.
So how do we shake off the stigma of being inferior? I mean, how do we change that?
By standing up for ourselves and not letting black people walk all over us. And that doesn't mean black on white crime. I'm just talking about just the way black people act. Just in general.
Have you, I know Michael asked you this before, and I just want to ask you this again because I'm curious. You said something was stolen from you at one point in time.
Oh yeah, but see, that was back when I was a kid.
Right, I'm talking. Has anything specific, any violent act ever happened to you or any member of your family or a friend, a crime committed, a violent crime by a black person against anybody that you personally know, whether it be family or friends? Has that ever happened? No.
Thank God.
Right.
And I'm bouncing around here again because I know we asked about drugs. Well, we got that now. What about alcohol? You drink alcohol?
Yeah, I drink alcohol sometimes.
But when's the last time you drank alcohol?
You know what? I did drink a little bit of alcohol before I went in there, but it was only half of a Smirnoff thing or something like that.
Last night?
Yes.
Like when you say half a Smirnoff, like are we talking about a pint, a fifth?
It was a big one, but I wasn't, even buzzed or anything like that. I just took a couple swings of
A
it.
Smirnoff vodka?
Oh no!
Or are you
This
talking
was
about
just
a wine cooler?
Yeah, like a wine
Like
cooler.
one of those, whatever.
Right. No,
Okay.
just like.
Okay, so where did you get that?
A gas station.
In Charleston, or?
I don't remember.
Did you use your debit card, or did you pay cash?
I really don't even remember buying it, but I know I had it.
Did you just buy one, or did you buy a six-pack?
Oh no, it was just one. It was just.
So you had how many swigs would you say you had? Was it a couple gulps or just sips?
Yeah, like a couple gulps, but like I said, I wasn't even feeling it. You see what I'm saying? I just took it just because.
Was that like right before you went in, or was it?
Maybe about 15 minutes before, because I was sitting in my car.
Bottle about this size?
No, it was a bigger bottle.
Yeah.
See, it was a little bit bigger anyway.
And how much of it would you say, if this was filled, I mean, that's a full bottle, how much of it would you say you drank? If that was the bottle, how much would you say you drank of it?
Like this one.
No, yeah, that's
Well,
like one or two gulps.
Yeah. What happened to the bottle afterwards? Is it in your car, or?
I think it is still in there, but I drank the rest of it afterwards.
So after?
You're right.
So driving, when you were driving?
Yeah, I think so.
And that was yesterday?
Well, no, last night, driving after the shooting to.
Right.
Last night.
Yeah, but I didn't get drunk or anything like that.
Okay. Well, if you could talk to or say anything to the victims' families, what would you say to them? If they were like right across the table from you, You know, they want answers. I mean, and you've told us your answers. I mean, I mean, the answer is a why. I mean, and you've told us that. But what would you tell them?
Would you be able to tell them that you shot their family member because of the reason you told us?
No way.
No.
I can't say that to them. I probably couldn't even look at them.
Your car. Would you sign a consent form to allow law enforcement to search your car and retrieve that gun out? What we call a consent to
Is that
search.
still in there?
Yeah, your car's been towed back. It's over here now. But I mean, they, you know,
We want to get your permission to take the gun out of the car.
and to search your car. I mean,
It's your car.
it's your car. I mean, someone might come in here and ask you that and say, "Hey, would you sign this consent form?" We're not asking you that right now. Present the form. When that time comes, they'll give you a form because obviously, you know, they want to get the gun out. I know you look perplexed, like, why is the gun still in there? Why haven't you already done that, right? But I'm just asking you that. Is that something you do, or?
Why? Am I better off if I don't?
I'm not. I'm going to give you no one way or the other on that. I'm not going to make any comment. That's something totally. And you know what? Just think about that. I'm just letting you know. Think about that for now. I'm not going to be the one handling that part. So just think about that. Then I'll come next. I do want to take a couple of pictures of you real quick. I don't know if anybody's photographed you whatsoever. I just need to step out. But before we do that, I'm going to step out just real quick. Is there anything I can? Hang on a second. Okay.
Now, can I ask you this? Do
Yeah.
I have to let you take pictures of me? Legally?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you really. I mean,
No, do I really?
yeah. Taking pictures. Have you ever? Everybody gets some pictures
But
taken.
do I have to let you take pictures of me?
You can let somebody else take.
Somebody else can.
Somebody else. If you don't want me to take your picture, I don't have to take your picture.
No, you know what I mean.
That's
I mean,
fine.
You guys, do I have to let you guys have pictures of me? I don't look too good.
That's not the reason why I'm taking
Yeah,
the picture.
that's really not it. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nobody's ever really asked me that question before. I mean, at some point, someone will take your picture. It'd just be easier, you know, if you were up and you were smiling and stuff like this. Hang on just a second. We're not smiling, but you know what I'm saying. Hang on a second.
One of the reasons is we want to be able to take a picture that shows you don't have any injuries, you didn't hurt yourself, you know what I mean? That's just like, for me to get a better understanding, I had you draw this. For people to get a better understanding that Dylann was okay and he didn't when if he ran out of the church, he didn't trip and hurt himself, whatever. We want to be able to show that you were fine. There was no physical injuries to you, that when we spoke to you, that we didn't, I don't observe anything, but we like to take a picture to document it. That's pretty much the reason.
I sure wish I could take a shower.
Well, that will eventually it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know when. I'm not assigned to this police department, so we'll talk. I'll talk with the officers and see if they can get that to happen for you.
I thought I was going back to Charleston.
Don't know yet. Don't know. It's probably one of the reasons why he stepped down. But like getting back to the car, the reason he was asking someone may come in with a consent form.
Right.
You know, there's rules. You know, we have to follow rules in order for us. You know, that's your possession and your vehicle. I'm just asking you the same way I'm talking to you. I'm just asking for your permission to retrieve that weapon from the car. That's all he meant by that. Because it was still loaded. We want to make sure that it's safe. We want to
I
make
don't
sure.
see why you guys can't do that without my permission if I'm already guilty.
Well,
I'm sure you can. If I say no, eventually you're going to have
here's
to
the
get
thing.
that gun.
Here's the thing, and I don't want to get into any legal discussion about whatever, because ultimately they'll probably go ahead and follow through with it the way they were going to do it anyway, and that's fine. I was just asking you.
That'd be nice.
And, you know, but and that's okay. But sometimes the way the law is now, and someone else will review stuff, they'll say, "Well, you told him this, and then that suggested that and that." So it's just easier for me to say, "Hey." If you can, they'll do it. If not, we'll right now, just think about that. We'll do it. But I really do need to take a couple of pictures of you through this, and then but before we do, I'll do that after we're done. That's fine. I just you had a sandwich. You were eating in here when we came in here, right? So they fed you.
Was that a Big Mac you had?
No, it was a Whopper.
Whopper. Burger King.
Water. You've been allowed to go to the restroom.
Well, I haven't been yet.
Do you need to go?
Sort of.
Okay, well, I do too. We'll get you over there in just a minute. All right. Do you? I mean, it looks like the Shelby PD guys have been treating you really nice.
Mhm.
I mean, they've been really, really great. And they've treated us really nice too. They actually gave me some food too. So.
You're hungry.
Do you have any questions of us?
Yes. What do you think is going to happen to me now?
I'm going to revert that back, and I'll answer you, but I'm going to revert that back first to the question I asked you earlier. What do you think should?
Well, really, what I meant is not really like what my sentence would be. It's more like, am I like going to like Charleston? Is there a prison in Charleston or what?
Well, all right. What'll happen, right? Don't say this. Yeah.
What are you thinking about, Dylan?
Nothing really. Just thinking.
What's going through your mind?
Well, I'm just wondering where I'm going, that's all. I'm just thinking about where I'm going to go.
Where would you like to go?
Oh, I don't know. I just wondered where I'm going.
Well, if you could pick one place right now, where would you like to go?
Oh, anywhere? I know.
Where's that?
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom or dad?
I found my mom's.
Yeah. What do you think, out of curiosity, what do you think your mom and dad are going to think of this?
Oh, God, I don't want to think about it.
All right, well, don't think about it. Whose watch is that you're wearing? I noticed.
Oh, no, this is mine.
Is that yours?
Yes. I got a small wrist, so. No, I don't want to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, don't
That's
think.
bad.
Yeah, don't think about that then. You still hungry? You want any more food?
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna get dinner later, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was just like going back to what we said. We had you initial this and sign this because we wanted to get your permission, obviously, to speak to us, and you agreed to speak to us. It's the same thing about your car. It's the only reason you brought that form about the car. So if I got one of those forms, would you read it over and give us consent? Would you give us permission to go into your car? It's the same thing as when you sign there regarding us speaking. We have to ask your permission.
Sure.
Consent to the car.
Tell me whatever now I'm not when they're ready. I'll just explain it. All right, here's what's going to happen. That was the boss of the SAC. It's in charge of the North Carolina office out here. My boss is back in South Carolina now. All right, they've issued a warrant for you for murder in the state of South Carolina. Okay, all right. You're about to you've been detained. We won't get into the semantics of arrest versus detained, whatever. I mean, but for all intents and purposes, you're handcuffed. That's arrested, right? So we won't go there. But you'll be officially arrested. You're going to be transported up to a local magistrate here in North Carolina. They're going to tell you what you've been charged with. All right. At that point in time, they're going to give you an option. Here's the choices you have, right? And say, hey, which I think, I mean, do you want to, you can waive what we call extradition. When you're in another state arrested, it goes back a long time under state charges right now. you have to be extradited to go back to another state. There's two ways that happens. The first one, you say, yeah, that's me, here, take me back and let's get the court process going. If you don't waive extradition, then they put you in a local jail here. And then basically the governor of South Carolina, their office, they apply, they get what's called a governor's warrant and issue it, and then they issue, it's all done, it's issued here in North Carolina, basically saying, yeah, we've determined it's you. That could take a couple of months sometimes, and then they then take you back to South Carolina then. And so your whole court process doesn't really start until you get back to South Carolina. So, but they'll give you, the judge will explain everything to you, he'll tell you what you're charged with, he'll tell you that you can waive it. If you waive it, it's my understanding that SLED, you know who SLED is, right, in South Carolina? The state police who we work with, because right now, everything is a state charge right now they put on you, this warrant. You know, how this is all going to break out in the end, I don't know, but right now it's state, right? They're going to then, they will take, if you waive, they'll take you back this afternoon. And then you'll end up going to a court, you know, down there tomorrow. And then start the whole process down there, start the legal process. So you can either go back today.
Right, but what I'm trying to figure out is, you said if I didn't waive it, is that right? And I stayed in North Carolina, I'd go to a local jail or whatever. So where would I be in Charleston or in South Carolina?
Well,
in another local jail there?
You'll go to a local jail, but I have a feeling, I can't promise you this because I'm not in charge. I have a feeling they'll probably put you in they might put you in a separate facility for safety purposes. You know, they may say, hey, let's go ahead and transfer, instead of local jail, they may make the decision, you know what, we're going to take him and put him in a state prison facility, in a separate facility for security purposes, as opposed to being in the Charleston County Detention Center. So, because your safety is, despite everything that's happened here, we still have a job, a duty to protect you, right? And so we want to make, you know, we got to make sure you're safe. But those decisions will be made in South Carolina. But if you don't waive, right, you'll go here, you'll go to the local, I think we're in, is it Cleveland County we're in?
Cleveland County.
Cleveland County. You'll go to the Cleveland County jail, and you'll sit there until they do all the orders and come back. You know, I can't give you any advice on that or whatever. That's something that you'll have to decide. The people there, the judge will explain it to you. A lot of times, people do waive that just to get back. Essentially, if we were charging you on federal charges right now, we'd scoop you up and drive you straight back because it's federal's districts and it's different. You know, we take you to a federal judge, it'd be done, or we take you to a judge in Charlotte and drive you back after the judge saw you and had what we call an identity hearing, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a similar process, but their process with the state is the same way. It's essentially, it just kind of goes back to the whole way things used to be. So that's a decision you'll have to make. But I do think...
Yeah, let me go over this with you the same way I went over with this. This is a consent to search vehicle. All right, so I check vehicle right there. It says, as the person in apparent control of this vehicle, the undersigned officer would like your consent to search for evidence, contraband, or instrumentalities of a crime as described to me. We already spoke about why we were here today. You are under no obligation to give this consent, and anything found may be seized and used in evidence. You have the right to consult with an attorney before deciding whether to grant or withhold consent. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before you give your consent. You have the right to withdraw your consent at any time and may give consent to a limited search of your vehicle. All right, so description of items, that's it.
Oh, God. Now, if I don't sign this, then what happens? Does that slow me down too?
No, it doesn't slow you down. But also, in addition to the car, we actually do want your clothes too. Because those are the clothes you were wearing. Understand?
Then what do I put on?
They'll give you some clothes. We'll give you some clothes. But we want your clothes because, I mean, you may not see it, but there could be blood splatter on those clothes. There could be all kinds of stuff. And understand, even though you've come here and readily admitted it, did everything you stood up as a man and said, I did this, right? You told your story. The government or in the state still has to actually prove all aspects of the case as if you never told us anything. So they're going to go through and do all the things. Hey, he was here, and here's the blood splatter, here's this, here's that. So, we're going to consent, and whether or not we could just take them or not, those are legal issues that are, again, I don't want to get into. But the decision was made that either to ask you for consent on the clothes, or they'll do the other. So that's your choice. I can't coerce you into saying, oh, you got to give these, either give these or it's not going to happen. And I'm not doing that. And if you don't want to, that's fine. If you say I don't want to sign consent, don't sign. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just.
I can't sign
Okay.
Okay.
So that's fine. That's fine. I do need to take a picture of you now. Okay. This basically concludes our formal interview. Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So go ahead and stand up for me. Turn to that side. Look that way. Right, face the wall. All right, face the dry erase board. Those are black Dickies.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Of course. And it is 3:35 p.m. by my watch. You were skinny. Do you think you feel like you can escape?
No.
You're not going to try and escape, are you?
No.
Do you have anything on you other than your watch and stuff?
No, they've searched me, but I don't have anything on.
You're wearing sweatpants underneath your Dickies.
Yes, you can check those two. There's nothing.
What's in this front pocket right here?
That stuff they take and put back in there.
The Dutch Square movie ticket thing. You went to Dutch Square on 6/16. So that was Tuesday, right?
That's Tuesday.
I actually saw that movie Saturday night. Is this all the money you had left?
Yes.
That's the part that really left. Now this you didn't get from them. You just carried this, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's just, I just had that in my pocket.
You carry a $2 bill?
Yes.
How long do you have that for? You make a living.
Oh, no, they
Now, do you try to draw out some more money?
No, that was all at the same time.
But I mean, you drew 20 and then you tried to draw some more? Or is that you tried to draw too much?
The first time I tried to draw too much, then I did.
And they have your wallet and stuff?
I don't have a wallet.
Oh, you don't? So you don't have a driver's license with you? Is it at home or?
No, I should have my driver's license. It should be in my pocket with my debit card, but I guess it's not.
They may have grabbed it.
Yeah, they might have it.
Let's pull this pen want to see them? Those are Timberlands, right?
Oh, no. These are just, I just got these from Walmart.
More boots. In that other picture, I noticed you were wearing like some black combat boots.
Oh, yeah, I just got this from Walmart.
Is that kind of, is that part because that's like the skinhead type clothing? The
Oh, no, I just
Sure.
got the boots. There's no reason.
the ones that, and I did ask you, there were no other guns at your mom's house, right? Or did you have like 22s or any other guns?
Oh,
or,
no. I don't have any other guns except for that one.
Was this my water?
I don't remember.
I know that one's mine.
I threw mine out, so that's
Yeah,
what it is.
This is mine. But you know what? That's fine. I'm done.
Am I leaving now?
You're about to.
Okay,
Yes.
can I use the bathroom before we leave?
He does.
Yeah. And of course, I just cut the behind the side.
Well, how about this? Do you have to go right back, because you're not going to be riding, we're just going to go